Sup everybody, this is Ob here. Welcome to another theory of Deltarune. So, this theory of Deltarune itself will be the Snowgrave route. It's going to be in chapter 4 and here is why. If you guys didn't watch the 17 new songs of Deltarune chapters 3, 4, and 5, go watch it before watching this theory. Because you'll see that there is a Snowgrave route songs in there as well. So without further ado, let's get started. The reason why Snowgrave route is going to be in chapter 4 is because chapters 2 and 4 are even numbers, except for chapters 1, 3, and 5, which are odd numbers. Think about it. For example, there are alternate routes in chapters, except chapter 1, because it didn't have a genocide route. Susie would say your choices don't matter, since you're the one who is forcing Noelle to use Snowgrave on Burley. So that's what happened. If you don't do Snowgrave route in chapter 2 and only do Snowgrave in chapter 4, Noelle will realize what she's doing right now. She's getting confident, stronger, and she has a power to freeze all the enemies. If you do Snowgrave in chapter 2 and never do Snowgrave in chapter 4, Noelle will turn confident into being worried. Things would change. If you do Snowgrave on both chapters, things will get even worse, because you would force Noelle to use Snowgrave on Birdley, and then on chapter 4, Noelle had enough of this and stops Chris for forcing her to use Snowgrave. I'd like to see how it goes in the future chapters because I'm curious about it. But for now, let's talk about the story of chapter 4 Snowgrave route. And also, this will be spoilers. Please play Undertale and Deltarune chapters 1 and 2 before watching this. I'll recover the story of this chapter since the last video I covered chapter 3 because I don't like when my video is finished when I'm working on those dialogues because that would take a long time to edit then. But for now, let's focus on chapters 4 Snowgrave route. When Chris meets up Noelle at the Holiday Country stage section, Noelle would say something that made her kinda scared and upset back in chapter 2. When you, the player, force Noelle to use ice shotgun enemies and use Snowgrave on Birdley. And Noelle promises to the player if they do not attempt the Snowgrave again in this chapter. But the player says yes, try not to trick Noelle, not to forcing to use Snowgrave on the enemies as it goes on. But the player refuses to accept that and keeps forcing Noelle to use Snowgrave on the enemies. Once finished in the Holiday Country stage section, Noelle says to Chris and said, "Why are you doing this? I thought you trust me, right?" The player refuses to accept Noelle's promise again, and we head out to the shopkeeper and says that you two going on a date with each other. Here, why not buy some perfume? Noelle didn't accept that and says that Chris and her are not parents, but they're friends even though they do hang out a little while. And when Chris and Noelle leaves, the shopkeeper stops those two and asks if they want to buy a spike ring. The player refused to accept the spike ring, leaving the player forcing Noelle to use Snowgrave on the shopkeeper. Noelle tells Chris to stop using Snowgrave, or else she'll get tired of it. Moving on to the section that we're still in the Holiday Country, and the song itself becomes distorted. This will go on if Noelle finish freezing all the enemies by using Snowgrave. After that, Chris and Noelle met Jockington and says to Noelle that she had to come with him to go back to the minister, and suddenly, as Noelle spotted another enemy up ahead, she asked Chris to stop using Snowgrave on this enemy. "I don't know what you're doing, but please stop this." But the player once again ignores Noelle's promises, and then finally, the player forced Noelle to use Snowgrave on Jockington. Then Noelle would said, "Alright, fine. I'll use it for you at least." Noelle then used Snowgrave on Jockington, and just like that, Jockington was dead frozen. Noel's so sad that she couldn't remember why she did that. So until then, Noel stands up to Chris, the player, and says to them, "If you want to force me to use Snowgrave on others, then I will not allow that." After that, she fights Chris. The player then feels betrayed to Noel and wants to get her back, so the player uses fight to attack Noel. If you attack Noel or beat her, she then gets down and says to Chris, "Well, this is why you're doing this, all because you want to kill me so badly. Why? You forced me again to use Snowgrave on enemies, and then you make me so tired. You're a monster. Just tell my dad I wasn't coming to see him, because thanks to you kill me." Then she died, leaving the player feel so bad for her and not wanting to ignore her all the time. Chris would go and found a door that's lead to a theatrical show stage. When Relsa and Susie saw Chris, Susie said to Chris, "Why are you not here?" "Whatever, let's go, you two." They head up to see the minister from the theatrical front stage. The minister then says, "Oh, I'm very sorry. This stage play fight was cancelled due to someone nearly killing a snake and a deer." Susie then said, "What do you mean a deer?" The minister then said, "The deer is Noel." Susie then gasps and starts to get angry at the minister. "Then why do you kill her?" The minister said, "I didn't kill her. It was somebody, not me." Susie then said, "Alright, it must be you." She points at the minister and then runs, and then she uses the sword to kill the minister. Ralsei tells Susie to stop fighting the minister. Then Ralsei says to Chris, "Go steal the fountain, please, hurry." Then us, the player, heads to the fountain when suddenly a robotic EX version comes out of Chris's head and tell Chris, "Well, what can I say? Thanks to you who kill that snake and deer, it's my stage play, and no one's gonna steal away. You're still in this fountain, aren't you?" "Not so fast, Tiger. You haven't seen me yet. Let's fight." The robotic EX version fight starts. From what I hear, this EX fight, there's gonna be an X-Slash. We can X-Slash the EX version like we did with Spartan EO with the X-Slash rather than the fight button, so it's gonna be useful if it is. After you beat the robotic EX version, he says, "Wow, you're way too stronger than I expected." But EX never. After he's done talking, Chris finally beats the robotic EX version, with the final flow ending off and sealing the fountain. Chris and Susie wake up, only to find that Noel and Jockington didn't wake up. Susie is still worried about Noel and says to Chris, "Do you think that Noel is gonna be alright?" The player then says yes to Susie. Susie then said, "Yeah, you're right. Let's just get out of here." Noel's dad comes in and says to Noel, "Noel, wake up. Do you hear me? Wake up." Susie then said she's having a nap. Rudy said, "Oh, okay, well, tell her that she has a good dream." Susie then said yes. "I'll tell her. Thanks for that." Rudy says, "No problem, Susie." Susie says to Chris, "Do you think we saved the world?" "Well, we didn't, I guess." "Well, it's nighttime, so we better hurry to go home and get some rest." Chris, lead away. After that, chapter 4 ends. My thoughts on chapter 4 Snowgrave is going to be even way worse than chapter 2 Snowgrave itself. I played chapter 2 Snowgrave and experienced how messed up Snowgrave can be. Even the player will force Noel to use Eye Shock on enemies or to use Snowgrave on Burley and Jockington. that's it for my chapter 4 Snowgrave theory and thoughts as well. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please will like, subscribe to my first and second channels. Join me on my Discord server to become a Decker Squad. Join me on my Patreon to get early access on my new content whenever I'm uploading to my Patreon. Follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.